If you could recreate the gaming room of your childhood, would you do it? For me, that question took a long time to answer. I was in the crowd of convenience, relying on Steam, the Xbox app on the PC, the Nintendo Switch expansion pack, all great things, that allowed me to play the video games of my childhood. But more recently, it kind of started with, getting this PlayStation 2 here, which is down at the bottom. I never had one of these, and it was kind of hard to find the PlayStation 2 games, especially if I don't have a console. At the time, I didn't have a console anymore, or all of my old consoles, like some of these on the shelves, were packed away. It's hard to play those games, and those are games I've always wanted to play. And more recently, as I've seen more videos on YouTube and other places about people collecting physical media, really just enjoying the games. I came to the realization that, hey, maybe it makes sense to start collecting this stuff, and not just video games, but DVDs. But today I'm going to focus on video games, probably focus on video games with the videos that I begin to release. But I kind of wanted to share this journey. I'm just starting. It may not seem like it because I have a good number of video games, but I actually either have had these video games for a few years, got them from some of these from a random garage sale across the street, and just more recently been collecting them. And there's reasons I've been doing that. One is, of course, the nostalgia factor, right? A lot of people my age and the older millennial crowd are hearkening back to the old days where hey, I'm gonna go over to my friend's house and we're gonna play some Metal Gear Solid, which I never had an original PlayStation. My first PlayStation was a PS3 that I got in college. Those kind of memories, like people playing SSX Tricky, which is over here. I had this on the Xbox. I'm working on getting an original Xbox right now. Fulfilling kind of those nostalgic memories. We're always in this, I don't know what it is. I feel like our generation's in this search for reclaiming those memories, maybe more so than other generations. Maybe it's because we grew up on, a time of an explosion of media, explosion of entertainment, coming out of the 80s with science fiction and fantasy movies. As it led into more quality animation, anime. I've got some anime over here that, Gundam Wing. I grew up on this stuff when I was in school, coming back from school and watching, Toonami on Cartoon Network. So I've been trying to kind of collect some of the anime that I grew up with. Some of these are a little bit more adult themed, but a little bit more violent. But these are still things that bring back memories for me. And the big thing for me, though, has always been video games. And as I've been having children, I have a lot of kids. They all have interest in video games, and I bought a Switch during the pandemic, like a lot of people did. Signed up for the expansion pack, and my kids naturally gravitated towards the Super Nintendo releases on there. Super Mario World, Mega Man, Mega Man X, and then the N64 stuff with like Donkey Kong, Banjo-Kazooie. Like, these were all games that I played, and it was really kind of cool to see my kids go through the same steps, the same levels as I did when I was their age. And so basically, what I'd like to do is, throw my hat into the ring with thousands of other YouTube channels here and kind of just document my journey of collecting games from my past, and maybe, changing history a little bit, going back into a time when, trying to create a memory for PlayStation 2 at least. These are all games I picked up for PlayStation 2 either from garage sales long ago or just more recently. Games that I've always wanted to play. In a few of these games, like I mentioned earlier, like SSX. I had this on the Xbox, the original Xbox, but I really just wanted to play it with my kids, so I grabbed a copy for PlayStation 2. But basically, I just wanted to kind of document my journey of collecting recollecting the games from my childhood. You know, Super Nintendo was really the first system that I really remember. We did have an original Nintendo, but we didn't play it too much. I grabbed both of these. I actually grabbed two NESs and this SNES from a garage sale, as well as this N64 and the GameCube here, which is right here. I grabbed this across the street at a really good deal a few years ago when we first moved into our house. But at any rate, I think it'll be an interesting journey to kind of it's a little trash, to kind of figure out how to collect these games. Going in, it's a pretty competitive market, in terms of prices, but kind of documenting that journey. I've kind of flown by the seat of my pants with some PlayStation titles. I did end up picking up a PS3 because that was a big part of my gaming life. Like I said, in college, that was like one of the first consoles that I bought myself, with my own money. When I was making, when I thought I was making good money, which I was still poor in college. But all these games here are games that I played. Kind of recreating those, collecting those, and yeah, I just kind of want to document that journey of collecting the games from my past and why they're important to me. And hopefully they'll be important to my kids too. I've already kind of built this little gaming center here with, I've got my Super Nintendo Classic, which is a great way which is kind of my first step into that world of getting back into the retro stuff. Before I got the Switch, I got this a few years ago, like I think around 2017 when this was released, 2017. So I've hung on to that. And yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting journey. I've done this over a couple months, picked up this little table. I had to pick up this, crappy little, well, not really crappy, but, old TV, because when I bought the PlayStation 2, I was like, oh shit, I actually need to place a TV that can run like a component cable or a standard AV cable. All my TVs now are HDMI. But no, I invite you guys to kind of come along with me on this journey. Again, I would love to hear comments from you guys as well. Are you doing the same thing? Are you joining the movement? And I'm not talking in terms of like collecting in terms of value. I mean, that is important too, right? That's like the intrinsic value of these games are not only nostalgic, but there's also some real dollar value there. Because they're not making these games anymore. So obviously the price of these go up. Some of them have gone way up. Some of them have gone way up, like these two maybe. This one too. I think this one was another game that was kind of expensive. But I actually got this from these two from a garage sale, so that was nice. But at any rate, I would love to hear what you guys are doing too. I mean, is this a nostalgic thing? Are you doing this for your kids? Are you kind of collecting? Are you collecting more physical media? I want to hear about it. I know the market is saturated right now with a lot of retro gamers talking about what they're collecting, what they're looking for, maybe for purposes to kind of flip things and resell them. That's not what this channel is going to be about. This channel is going to be about, hey, let's try to collect all the games I used to have for Super Nintendo. All the games that I traded in to Funko Land so that I could buy my Xbox, or so I could split the cost of my Xbox with my grandma for the day one release. Let's try to collect all the N64 games that I traded into EB Games back in the day so that I could buy a few Xbox games, after I had the Xbox for a couple of years, things like that. That's what this channel is going to be about. It's going to kind of be documenting the journey for me, and maybe this collection will grow quickly, maybe it'll grow slowly. Some of these games are going to be kind of expensive. Certainly the Mega Man X games for the Super Nintendo, for example, those are sky high. But I had all three of them, and I basically gave them away so I could afford the Xbox. But again, because I did that, I had a lot of great memories on the Xbox. Halo, Dead or Alive, Splinter Cell, and then eventually Xbox Live with Halo 2. So the cost was at the time was pretty high to afford that kind of stuff. I wish I would have been able to keep that stuff, but you know, like a lot of people, I grew up a poor kid, and there wasn't a lot of money to go around. You know, the paper route didn't give me too much money to kind of, you know, put towards a video game, so I had to kind of recycle games as I went along. So if you're interested, you know, come along with this journey for me. I'll kind of go in depth for each system, and you know, kind of why I bought it, or why I, you know, grabbed it from a garage sale, why I traded for it, you know, and what games I've been getting, and you know, what I think of the games that I've been playing. There's gonna be a lot of new games I've been playing that have been released, you know, 30 years ago. A lot of these PlayStation games are pretty old now, but I'll be playing them for the first time, so that'll be kind of interesting. Then I'll be revisiting games that, you know, I bought, you know, a few decades later, like for the GameCube when I was in high school. Again, still working on getting that OG Xbox with the big fat 2 potatoes controller, the Duke controller. So that's why I got this sealed copy of Riddick. That was one of my favorite games that came after that Xbox exclusive. And then I'll be documenting a little bit of these PlayStation 2 games, as well as maybe some PlayStation 3 stuff that I've been trying to collect. It probably won't be too much of PlayStation 3 stuff. Be more, and I've almost maxed out on my PlayStation 2 of the things that I wanted. I collected games from here that I've always wanted to play. I basically played all the Metal Gear Solid games. You know, now these were some of the first games I picked up because I've always wanted to play these games. I bought a lot of fighting games because my stepson and he's really good at fighting games. He whoops my ass in Soul Calibur, basically any fighting game, but I do have him in Mortal Kombat. I will say that I can always beat him in Mortal Kombat. That's why I grabbed all 3 of these: Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, and Mortal Kombat 3. So I could remind him that who's the boss. But yeah, so I think I think it'll be interesting to kind of document that journey. And again, would love to hear comments from you all. I don't expect, you know, to get too many views on this, because again, there's a lot of other channels, but I figured it'd be cool to kind of document this journey and yeah, almost maybe find an interesting way to document the journey for my kids too, as I kind of bring new games into their lives, because they're getting excited about this too. They've been talking to their friends about, hey, Dad has dusted off a lot of his old consoles and started to plug them up. So maybe I'm the cool dad now. I don't know how much longer that'll last, but I'm gonna soak up every minute of it. So yeah, so that's basically it. This is my crappy intro video. Thank you for hanging in there. If you've lasted the all 13 minutes, you've proven me wrong with what I think the average attention span is nowadays. But yeah, feel free to leave a comment below. Please like the video. Consider subscribing to the channel if you want to watch more videos as they come along. And I'll try to do a video every other day or so, talking about one of these games or my journey into, you know, building up the library. I definitely need to work on the Super Nintendo. I've only got these fighting games here, but you know, maybe the next thing on my list is Mega Man X, Mega Man X2, you know, Super Mario World, you know, those kind of titles. There's a few stores around the area that have those waiting for me. I just gotta save the dollars and, you know, make sure all the other bills get paid before I credit my fun money account and grab those. So yeah, thanks for watching. Looking forward to documenting more of this journey on YouTube, and yeah, hopefully it'll be hopefully, you know, there'll be other folks on here that like to leave some comments and share your own journey about, you know, what this new age of collecting physical media and revisiting the good times look like. So thanks for watching, and you know, keep an eye out for the next video. All right, see you later.